Chapter 5, Banishment Guide, the first bully in the universe. Yan Mo had a hunch: if he does not hurry to reduce the scum value, and if he waits for his scum value to pass an integer, maybe over 10, maybe over 100 points, he could be waiting for his affirmation and new punishment, because if it that him, he will definitely do this by making rules. So how do you reduce the scum levels? Yan Mo's heart moved and he stared at his Cao Ting. Sister, were you very surprised by what I did? Cao Ting nodded. You must remember, if you encounter the same situation in the future, especially the relatively minor fractures, you do this kind of emergency treatment. If there are no wooden sticks around, you can use similar hard objects that are not easy to break, such as slate and animal bones. Yan Mo said the most basic method for treating fractures to Cao Ting. As he said, he also showed her the remaining wooden sticks. He once took an intern, and he has a basic and he completely weird set of teachings, like Cao Ting. He taught her in the most easy to understand way. He never dislikes students. Because he was not very clever at the beginning, but he hated all the students who wasted learning time and opportunities. For those who didn't listen carefully, he would remember them one by one, and said nothing on the surface. If the other party has not corrected, at the end, I will give the other party a knife to perform a surgery, and the other party still knows nothing. Cao Ting obviously cherishes such an opportunity very much, and now she was surprised and grateful, and nods when she listens, and she learns seriously. She didn't despise Yan Mo at all because she was not much older than her. Yan Mo's treatment has already shaken her. She has fully believed that Yan Mo is a disciple of the Salt Mountain priests, and if she will probably learn the method of healing with the future priests. This is a blessing to her. Teach one person how to perform a first aid knowledge on fracture, scum value reduced by -1, total scum value of 100,000,007 points. Really? Yan Mo verified his thoughts and smiled wide, but this point was also low. After 5 seconds, a new word came out in the guide. Note: each time the taught person successfully implements the first aid method, the original instructor, Yan Mo, can get a little reduction in scum points. So it turned out to be a pyramid scheme. Yan Mo expressed satisfaction and taught Cao Ting more carefully. After all, the remarks indicated that she had to be successful and he could get the scum value reduced by -1 from Cao Ting. Of course, he can't teach a bone surgery through this simple teaching, but at the very least, he will leave an impression on the other's brain, and then leave it to be taught slowly until the other party completely masters it. He believes that this ghost place must be lacking in knowledge. He would teach Cao Ting practice. Finally, Yan Mo concluded, if it is a relatively heavy fracture, such as in my situation, such as T.A.G, the only one layer of skin needs to be connected, such as comminuted fracture, it is not only the bone, but also more complicated surgery. The operation includes removing bones, resettling bones, fixing the blood vessels, and even if the operation is performed, there will be a lot of aftermath complications. Cao Ting heard a lot of words that she does not understand. Aftermath. When the bones are connected, although the wounds may heal, but the legs may not be as before, the break on the arms may cause the fingers to be unable to bend, or cannot grip a weight, etc., but these are always better than amputation. Unfortunately, subject to conditions, here I can't perform a surgery at all. After all, we don't have needles. Needles. Have you seen something similar? Yan Mo used a wooden stick to draw the shape of the needle on the ground. Head is pointed. Yes. There are bone spurs and stone cones. Cao Ting got up and took these two things back to show him. You can drill holes in the skin and bones, you can make necklaces like I did for Daren. The tattoo on the face is also made with bone spurs. If Yan Mo had not integrate with the memory of the boy who possessed this body, he will think that the necklace and tattoo are only products of human nature, but now he knows that these two things are more representative of the difference between class status and social division of labor. Different tattoo lines and different necklace materials and styles are worn on different people, and they must not be confused because any misplacement will be punished. There are no tattoos on the face of the children and women who have no fighting power. The slaves also have the slave's tattoo, which is usually on the back or shoulder. When the slave is resold and transferred, the traces left by his original owner will be burned out by the later masters, so some slaves will have repeated burn scars on their backs. Touching his face, there is no tattoo on his face, meant he has not yet been qualified for the first-rank warrior. If the tattoo is not treated well, it will cause infection and fever. His master is not in a hurry to leave a mark on him. It is probably because he is too sick. Maybe it's not because he is afraid of wasting the tattoos, and he is afraid of stabbing him and hurting him. Right? When the kid, Yuan Zhan, returns, he has to talk to the other person and see if he can delay the time of brandishing a tattoo as much as possible. Once he is labeled as a slave, Yan Mo wants to break away from slavery. Unless his military power reaches that of the level of a third-rank warrior, he can only be a slave for a lifetime. 1. Yan Mo calls Yuan Zhan a kid because at the time of death Yan Mo was 39 years old, so he still has that I'm an old man mentality. He does not know how much he will recover his leg function from the injury in the future, and he has no confidence in improving his own militaristic value, not to mention that he was originally a mental and technical worker. Sister, help me get a piece of animal skin, fast. Yan Mo saw the priest disciples coming out of Dahi tent and he immediately pushed the grassy road. Cao Ting is not known, so she went into Yuan Zhan's tent, and took out the scrap skin that was quickly removed from the inside. Yan Mo grabbed the animal skin, and whether it was clean or not, he turned to his injured leg and then lay down on the ground and tied the skin tight. Cao Ting is also smart. After seeing him she immediately understood what he meant and pushed the boy back. She knelt in front of the injured leg of the boy and tightened the injured leg. The 5 men and the priest strode past them, and the priest disciples, was wrapped in a beast skin, he walked at the end. When they passed by, he glanced at them. Ah! The priest disciple stood still. Cao Ting felt her heart tightening. Yan Mo closed his eyes and felt someone approaching them. The priest disciple kicked Cao Ting. What is that in the pot? Cao Ting turned to look at the small stone pot and replied in horror, this a kind of weedy grass. What is it used for? No, I don't know, I just picked it up and tossed it. My brother was beaten by his master. He hurts very much. I wanted to save him. Master, please help my brother. Cao Ting suddenly went to the priest disciple. And looked up. The priest disciple snorted and left. Cao Ting's head knelt on the ground until the priest walked out of sight and she dared to lift it up slowly. Yan Mo's fists were slowly relaxed, and Cao Ting's wit and benevolence saved him once again. Sister, thank you. This sister, Yan Mo thought was very sincere. Cao Ting turned back and patted her hair. There was a trace of sadness in her eyes. I have 2 younger brothers, and a younger sister. 1 brother died. The 2 left were sold to other tribes. I don't know. How are they doing now? You look like my big brother who was dead. Sister, maybe you will meet them later. Yan Mo took off the skin and sat up with pain. I hope so. Cao Ting did not expect to meet his younger brother in the future. When Yuan Zhan came back with 2 animals like the large voles, Yan Mo was still lying at the door of his tent, and Cao Ting had been called back by his master to make dinner. Without the permission from Yuan Zhan, Cao Ting did not dare to move Yan Mo into the tent. Yan Mo was not sitting idle on the water tank, and when he was alone he took the opportunity to call out the catalogue of the Banished Guide. There are only 6 records in total. Article 1, the use of the Banishment Guide. Article 2, the Guide to the Reconstruction of the Biological Biology. Article 3, the Geography and Hydrological Guide for the Reconstruction Site. Article 4, the Excavation Banished Guide Questions and Answers. Article 5, Special Guidelines, cannot be displayed before conditions are met. Article 6, Penalties and Reward Lists. When he saw the second and third, he was calm but couldn't help but be slightly excited. Knowing these 2 points, even if he can't pretend to be an omniscient or gods, at least he can support himself definitely with no problem. However, this excitement, after he opened guide, was killed dead. First, to use the second article in the catalog, he must reduce his scum value by 100 points, the third article, he needs to reduce the scum value by 1000 points. Secondly, the guide will not promptly suggest that Yan Mo must consult the guide. Each time the guide shows a little knowledge, the Yan Mo scum value will be increased, and the increase will be based on the importance of the knowledge displayed in the guide. As for the fourth article, it is even more wicked. It can only be asked 3 times. Although it is not necessary to increase the scum value, every time you ask for a question, you need to bite your finger. Use your bleeding fingertips to write the question you want to ask on the Q&A page of the guide. With regard to the fifth article of the guide, there is only one sentence, that is, the conditions must be met before it can be displayed. As for what are the conditions to be met, the guidelines does not state it at all. Yan Mo is most interested in the sixth article of the catalog, but when the guide shows the reward list, it shows a blank page. Does this mean no reward, or is the condition not reached? Show punishment rules. The guide flips and the text appears on the page. When the banished is banished, he has to make sure that the scum value is never higher than 100 million points. Once it is higher than 100 million points, the banished will be forced to accept the number of penalties. The penalty content given is based on the increase of scum. After the scum value is less than 100 million points, if the accumulated scum value increases by 10 points, the banish will be forced to accept a small punishment, and increase the scum value by more than 100 points at one time. The reason for the increase in scum value is applied. Yan Mo forcibly pressed and controlled the anger and resentment. He grabbed a wooden thorn and poked it on the tip of his left middle finger. Call out the question answer page, squeeze out the blood and start writing questions. People can't write it, no matter how he touches his fingers, the blood from the fingertips will gather together and turn into blood drops from the palm of his hand. How can one do this? Are you playing with me? Why is it not writing? Yan Mo was so angry that his blood was so precious now that he was wasted. The book did not pay attention to him, no matter how many times he asked, it did not respond. Yan Mo was extremely angry, so he tried calming himself down by taking a deep breath. Maybe he missed something, call out the guide to use it, and take a closer look at the explanation of the fourth question. Every time you ask a question, you need to bite your finger, bite. Fuck, he knows what happened. This damn guide does its best to bully him. It is much more painful to puncture your fingers with your own teeth. Helpless, he also knows that it is impossible to bargain for such a rigid thing. He can only put the left middle finger in the mouth and bite it. The scum value is 0, what can I get? The book page quickly shows the answer. Get what you want most. One of the most words means that he has only one option. What do I want to get the most? What can still be used? There was a small figure in the brain, and the innocent big eyes were blasting trust towards him. Every time he saw him coming back, he would immediately drop whatever he was doing, stumbled and ran over him, pull a short arm, one of his thighs slammed into his thigh, and leaned back on his small head and pleaded softly and pleaded, pull out, pull and hug. Yan Mo suddenly grabbed his eyes. Don't lie to me, don't lie to me. I am willing to believe, I am willing to make a good change, just ask you not to lie to me. Hey! What are you crying? A big man kicked him lightly and scolded him. Cry and die, I will not give you eat more meat. Yan Mo wiped his tears silently and rubbed his arm. Motherfucker, that was really painful. 2 large rabbit-like animals were thrown at him. So you can move? If you can move, peel the skin, pay attention when you do it, don't peel the skin and break it, if you do that I will kill you. The slave has no basic human rights, even the slave who was unable to move and are hungry for 2 days. Yan Mo's original body will not peel anything, but this body will. The 2 large furrier animals do not have much blood, their necks were twisted, and there is a bleeding mouth. Maybe the blood was sucked by that guy. How did you use so much water? Yuan Zhan kicked the stone knife in front of him, saw that there was not much water in the water tank, he frowned, poured the remaining water into the stone pot, and threw the water into the water tank. Pick up the stone bowl and left. Yan Mo thought. No wonder there is no wooden barrel here, I dare you all to use those stone bowl to water tanks, then you will feel.